In today's video, I'll give you guys 5 Havoc Demon Hunter builds to try out at level 70. Before we get to the video though, a lot of my viewers aren't subscribed, so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button. It would really help me out, and I'll have tons of great content coming through Dragonflight and beyond. So with that, enjoy the video. Like I said in the intro, today we'll be doing 5 builds for Havoc Demon Hunter. We'll be doing 2 AOE builds and 3 builds from our single target / raid styles. Now, of course, I want to shout out to the Demon Hunter Discord, specifically the Havoc people, for help with all these builds and everything. They put them up a big amazing guide over there in the fact channel. So if you want more information on any of these builds, go there, check them out. They're all amazing people. Go there. Any questions will help you out too. So the first build we're going to talk about today is going to be the AOE build. Now, if any of you are familiar with what's been happening on beta or anything like that, then this is kind of the build you're pretty familiar with for AOE. The whole idea here is to have a lot of damage come from Soul Rend, a lot of damage come from Rage Fire, and then of course your Essence Break momentum window. So for Havoc Demon Hunter, we kind of don't have like specific builds. We kind of have things that are split up into packages, right? So what I like to think about it is you have kind of your Glaive package, you have kind of your Immolation Aura package, and then you have stuff like your Momentum Essence Break down here. And they're all very different build styles, but they all work together to kind of mix and match how you want to play. However, these are going to be your best ones. So for each build, I'll talk about the talents a little bit, and then I'll go into kind of a little bit of rotational, but this isn't going to be a guide or anything like that. It's just kind of giving you guys things to talk about. On the class tree, this is going to be fairly standard. We're picking up CC in Chaos Nova and Sigil Misery, and then damage in the Hunt and Collective Anguish. The rest of it is just kind of reducing meta, Demonic, and then Fellblade. Over here, we're grabbing our Glaive talents. These are very strong in AoE, turning Throw Glaive into a very, very strong button. We have our Immolation Aura stuff, again, very strong in AoE. Then we have Momentum, which is really just a powerful ability. 8% damage in AoE is really strong, especially when we're using stuff like the Hunt and stuff like Unbound Chaos pretty often. Then we have Essence Break, which is kind of the core of our rotation, at least for our burst. So really when you're using this, you want to start off by using Sigil Flame pre-pull. Then you want to use your Immolation Aura, Spell Rush in, throw out the Hunt, throw out a Glaive, and then you want to go into your Momentum window with I-Beam into Backflip into Essence Break, and then you want to use Death Sweep, meta, Death Sweep again, and then you can just I-Beam and check out more of your Glaives. The build here is really important to just not cap on Glaive charges, not cap on Fell Rush charges, and outside of that, you just want to use all of your buttons on cooldown. Making sure that you're generating your Fury, not capping anything, and then just really using your Essence Break, Momentum window, as well as your Glaives to do a lot of your damage. You will also have a lot of damage coming from your Rage Fire and Immolation Aura, and stuff like that. So you can see here I'm kind of bursting for a ton of damage, about 118, 120k, which will go up again whenever we get to the next burst window. So this one is very strong. Whenever you have your demon up, you also don't need to just single target it down. You can just let it get cleaved down normally. So my next window's up. I have my demon soul. So we'll go in, we'll I-Beam, we'll Vengeful Retreat over the pack, Essence Break, come in, Death Sweep, and then Annihilation if you have the Fury for it. Ideally, you want to have high Fury going into that, and then just throwing out your Glaives and cleaving everything down. And that's a really strong AoE build. For the next build, we have pretty similar stuff here with the class tree, so I'm not going to talk about it. But this is another AoE build that focuses more on I-Beam and Glaive Tempest. While this one isn't as strong in some of those bigger target count stuff, right? You don't have stuff like Soul Rain, you don't have stuff like Rage Fire, Immolation Aura. You do have pretty consistent cleave through Glaive Tempest, and a little bit better single target with Shattered Destiny and Cycle of Hatred. In this build, often you'll desync your Essence Break and I-Beam, getting about 2 I-Beams per Essence Break. Generally, if Essence Break has about 15 seconds left on its cooldown, then you do want to hold your I-Beam for it. But if not, then you can just send I-Beam, and you'll be right as rain. This one is pretty similar as well. We don't have any of that Glaive stuff, but really, using Glaive Tempest before you get into your I-Beam window is really good. However, if it comes up during your Essence Break, then you want to hold it till the end. So we go into it, put up my Immolation Aura, we'll rush in, drop a Glaive Tempest probably right away. Oh, there we go. Then we'll I-Beam, Essence Break right away, Death Sweep, and then you want to use your Annihilation. It's really important in this build that whenever you are using your Inner Demon here, that every time you I-Beam, you want to use Chaos Strike or Annihilation just to get that proc and not waste it. You also want to use the Hunt. Obviously, you should Immolation Aura and then Hunt in, which is something I didn't do, but you do want to do that. Essence Break, Vengeful Retreat, all stuff is very important to proc your initiative again. And you see here, we have less than 15 seconds, so I'm going to hold it. We'll just keep it up here. We'll use my single target abilities here. My Glaive Tempest came back up. We're going to drop it down. and we're back in time for another Essence Break. So we'll go in, we'll I-beam, Vengeful Retreat over everybody, Essence Break, come in, Death Sweep, and then use my Annihilations. Now, in the open world, Essence Break gets kind of weird, so you're likely to miss some stuff, but in dungeons, it won't be like that. But this build is kind of an alternative if you don't want to go for the big Soul Rend, Ragefire stuff. You can go for something like this. It'll be a little more similar to how Demon Hunter played in Season 2 of Shadowlands. So next, we'll go into some more single target stuff. Now, this is kind of going to be your bread and butter single target raid build. Using momentum, stuff like the I-beam things, Shattered Destiny, Cycle of Hatred, as well as just kind of the class tree we're dropping our CC because we don't really need them for a few other situational stuff like shorter cooldown on Darkness, movement from Fellfire Haste, stuff like that. But realistically, this is kind of similar to the other stuff we've shown. You want to use your Sigil of Flame pre-pull on the target, Immolation Aura as we enter combat, hunt in, use Fell Rush, and then you go right into I-beam, VR through the target, Essence Break, go back in, Death Sweep, meta, Death Sweep, and then you want to rush out and use your I-beam again. And from there, all you want to be doing is just using your Chaos Strikes and Death Sweeps and all that to reduce the cooldown of I-beam. It's often when you'll get I-beam desynced again, like in the other build. In that case, if I-beam comes up and you have 15 seconds or less left on Essence Break, then you want to hold it. If not, you want to just send it right away. It's very important that you end up syncing these two cooldowns. So you'll see here, they're going to come up together. We'll end up holding it for this case for a few seconds here. So we'll just keep going with the thing here. And then you can see it's coming up. So I'm going to Fell Rush, get momentum, I-beam, Vengeful Retreat, Essence Break, come in, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Annihilation. And that's kind of the build. This is going to be your bread and butter single target build. You know, nothing really too crazy. It'll do pretty good cleave as well. But you're not taking all those glaive talents that'll do really crazy cleave damage. So this is our single target build if you don't want to be taking momentum. Now you can see there's a few other choices that are different from other things. We have stuff like Burning Hatred and Fellfire Heart to get more Fury, as well as things like Burning Wound and Growing Inferno and Relentless Onslaught, just to kind of fill out points as we're skipping Critical Chaos, Initiative, Unbound Chaos, and Tactical Retreat, which really do help fill out the tree. But in this build, you know, it's pretty close to the momentum build in terms of damage, so it's only like 1 or 2% percentage-based points. So really, you can play whatever you want. If you don't want to play momentum, you can play this instead. Really, everything I just mentioned about the previous build is pretty much the same. There's a few differences where you want to throw a glaive as you enter combat. So we will, you know, put down my... One second, my bars are all messed up from swapping. Let me just fix that. So we'll put down the old thing here. Sigil Flame, and then as it procs, we Immolation Aura, hunt in. I want to throw out a glaive here, just get it up, and then we'll go into our I-beam, Essence Break immediately, Death Sweep, Annihilation, because I don't have meta here. And we want to, of course, drop our Glaive Tempest, which I don't have bound for some weird reason. In this build, backflipping is not required at all. Same with Fell Rushing, but basically you want to just use Glaive Tempest on cooldown as much as you can. As well as not within your momentum break essence window. You can see here, you know, it's going to come up during an essence break window, so I want to just use that beforehand. I get I-beam up, so I'm going to use it because I have less than 15 seconds left, and we'll just keep reducing it. These builds are pretty simple. It's going to play a lot like Havoc Demon Hunter in the past, where you're just kind of using all your buttons on cooldown. The only thing that's really important is using your essence break burst, but in this build, it's much less important because you don't have that big essence break, burst, flip, backflip stuff. Of course, it's still going to be the most important thing here. We'll drop a Glaive Tempest before it comes up. Now we'll I-beam, immediately essence break, and then we'll Death Sweep, meta, Death Sweep. So that'll be your opener normally. I just, you know, of course, didn't have it then. But really, this build also very simple, very similar to the other builds. Just making sure you're using your backflip essence break combo pretty well. You're dropping Glaive Tempest whenever you can. That is not within an essence break window. If it comes up during essence break window, drop it at the end. You're cleaving down your demon if you can, and other than that, you're just kind of sending it, spamming buttons, and using things on cooldown. So this is the last build for today, and now you may recognize this, but this is the Cleave build for M+. In raid, if you need Cleave, you're going to do the exact same build. You're just going to change up your class tree a little bit. Realistically, this build doesn't really change out from the other build. In this scenario, Throw Glaive will have priority over Chaos Strike if there is more than one target and outside of Essence Break windows. So Throw Glaive is just going to be a really good filler for you, especially if there's multiple targets present. You can do a lot of damage with it. You can end up dropping out Momentum and Ragefire if you want to pick up things like Chaos Theory and Glaive Tempest for Cleave as well. However, it's going to be about a 4 to 5% damage loss, but that is something you can do if you choose to. But you do want to still keep the Soul Rend stuff. It's going to be very powerful, especially in a Cleave scenario. And we'll go into the rotation on this one since it's basically the same as the AoE version, but this is kind of going to be a bit of a Cleave build. So that is going to be my quick little primer on builds for Havoc. These are just stuff you can try out to have fun with. This isn't a guide video, so I'm not going in depth on anything. My Havoc Demon Hunter guide should be out next week whenever Season 1 does drop. But again, a big shout out to the Havoc Demon Hunter Discord. If you want more information on any of these builds, go check out there. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any comments for me down below. I will have the links to all of the builds in the description as well, if you want to try them out for yourself. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, leave a sub. It would really help me out. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Peace.